I only have 50 cents. Can you just give me the food of whatever left over you just give me?
Meet Eddie, who came to Singapore from Indonesia in 1993 to study. After facing numerous hardships, he built a restaurant business from scratch, which now boasts over 100 outlets across 6 countries. Eddie shared why he feels more at home in Singapore than in Indonesia, the reason Singaporeans often don't show up for job interviews, and why Indonesians don't greet each other when they meet abroad. I'm Max Chernov, your insider to expat life. Let's go!
Why you in Singapore? Why you not somewhere else?
First, because I'm so comfortable living in Singapore. I spent here more than half of my life. But I have to say, Singapore is very, very safe. So there's a huge price to pay for the security you have in Singapore. The only complaint I have in Singapore to do business is about the manpower. But apart from that, I think the government is doing a very good job in terms of support us, especially during the pandemic. I think Singapore is only one of the few governments in the world who really help out, especially us entrepreneurs. They support us in terms of the wages, they support us in terms of so many things, you know. They support us, really they support us. And also there are a lot of grants, you know, available. Even though you buy some equipments, some POS last time, they really give you grants. So I think, and number 2, why I don't want to go back to Indonesia to do business is because government. Here the government is so transparent. The rule, in order to apply for this one, just follow this rule and you will get it, that's it. But in Indonesia, the rule is made to be broken. So let's say you have to apply for something. You go to this ministry. So from level 2, they will ask you to go to level 5. From level 5, they will ask you to go down to the level 3. There's so many protocols. So many, it's not clear. Here, it's so straightforward. You want to apply for company, private limited, or sole proprietor, you just apply online, less than 1 week, boom, that's it. You want to apply for halal, the certificate, even though you know this Singapore is not a religious country, doesn't represent any religion, but when it comes to we do the halal certifications, it's clear cut. You apply, this follow, that's it. But in other countries, it can take up like in 2 years. Especially in Malaysia, I heard it's about 2 years. You know, I have my friend, about 1.5 years still haven't got the certificate yet. Indonesia, as I said, too many protocols, you know. But Singapore is because of the government, the security. And in Singapore, you come up from the house, 2 o'clock morning, 3 o'clock morning, you want to go out, you feel safe. You try to go to Indonesia. Yeah. I don't dare to go out at night, like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, especially you are in the small town. Nah. So there's a price to pay. So I feel comfortable here and I feel secure. And especially now I'm married with 2 kids, you know, I feel more secure. You know, I don't have to worry my kids being kidnapped, you know, even though recently there's a kidnap case whatever. But I still feel Singapore is so much safer. You know, I don't have to worry. Even though I put my wallet, my handphone, you know, there were 2 times I left my phone in the toilet, it returned back. But of course, don't do it too often, huh? Yeah. So it's about the security. Yeah. Same thing, right? That's why you choose Singapore, right?
For me, it's like many. I'm a big fan of Singapore. For me, it's like there are a variety of things that I love about Singapore. Also, like when you have family, you start to value safety more. When you just yourself, it's like, oh, I can survive. But when it's family, it's different.
But you feel safe, right?
No, of course, yeah. But
and the food is nice.
The options, the choices for food is like unbelievable.
Yeah.
So 30 years.
30 years.
Here. You feel more Singaporean now or still Indonesian?
Yeah, I think I spent more half of my life in Singapore. So I think I feel that myself, I'm a Singaporean. Yeah, more than I'm Indonesian. So every time I come back to Singapore, I landed into Changi Airport, I feel home. But I landed into Soekarno-Hatta Airport or Bali Airport, I don't feel home.
But for you, do you feel like it's a little bit unfair that you, for 30 years here, you know the majority Singapore, you do business here, but you still don't get your passport, though you are like feeling Singaporean? I
applied for 2 times for citizen. One is applied on my own. The second time I applied as a family because maybe I thought, or maybe I got rejected because I didn't apply for the whole family. So the second time I applied for the whole family, it still got rejected. So I take it like maybe it's a God's will, you know, like maybe I shouldn't. Because anyway, I have this plan that after I retire, after I cash out, I just want to live somewhere else, you know, like a new country, like maybe Canada, you know. So I just want to enjoy the time, like explore hiking, you know, go to the lakes, go to the mountains, just enjoy fresh air, and then die. Because I just like to explore something new and to enjoy the hard work, you know, because I don't want to just keep working, and then after that, and then just die. No. I just want to work, then one day, let's say 10 more years, and then I just sell off everything. I just retire, but not in Singapore, but maybe just somewhere else, you know. But the kids will still stay here.
Not in Indonesia?
No. I will go to Indonesia for the food. Maybe it's too long I stay in Singapore. I cannot even take it when there's a traffic jam, the macet, you know, the traffic jam.
Same.
I just can't take it.
Same.
Yeah.
I just flew from Phuket. It's like came back to Singapore. Oh.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
Yeah, right. And the pollution as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just feel this coughing, the air quality is like okay. So so I'm just not ready. I keep telling my friends, one thing. In Indonesia, maybe there are people from the nicest and the cruel and the most cruel. All kind of people is there. In Singapore, not so bad. At most in Singapore, just kiasu. Afraid to lose out,
Yes,
that's it. But in Indonesia, any kinds of people, you will just meet them there. So this is one of the reasons I cannot. But just to go there for business, for holiday, especially for the food, I'm okay. Talking about the food, I don't know why many of my Singapore friends, when they go to Indonesia, they always have this diarrhea. Do you?
Not in Indonesia, not really.
No, Indonesia.
No,
Okay.
no.
Many of my Singaporean friends, when they go for the first time, second time, always, even though they drink the mineral water from the hotel, also they get diarrhea.
They say it's just different bacteria.
Yeah.
So your just stomach not used to this bacteria. Vice versa, my friend, he's doing business in India for like many years. And after like spending half a year in India, going back to Singapore, he used to have diarrhea back. So because his stomach adapted to the local food and then new bacteria. So it's like this thing.
From there to Singapore.
From there to Singapore.
So he got diarrhea in Singapore.
Yes.
So it's a different type of bacteria.
Different type of bacteria.
Agree?
Yeah.
Yes, possibly. So I that's why I also don't like to be too clean. Because if you're too clean, that's why you get this. Those days, no such thing as called Kawasaki. No such thing as called this. I don't know what influenza. The name of the virus that affect the kids when they play the playground. It's a clean playground, visibly clean, but you get all this Kawasaki. We don't have it back then, in Asia. So then I think, that's why, because last time during our childhood, we always play with the mud. We catch fish, we catch things in the mud. So those bacteria, they make us stronger.
Yeah.
So that's why I said, when my kids fall down, just fall down. It's okay. I don't have to they're so scared, please be clean. No, I don't want to be too clean, because if too clean, there's no bacteria the immune is not there. Yeah. So can't be too pampered too much.
I agree. My dad is a doctor. So he always used to actually tell me it needs to be some level of dirtiness when you're a kid. Exactly because of that. Because naturally you will survive if it's a low level of the dirt and stuff, the microbes. It's okay for you.
Yeah.
And actually it's good for building your
immune
system.
And bacteria to fight.
Yes,
correct. I agree with this. Yeah, that's why when you always have the clean food, and then we go overseas, especially go to Thailand, like my friend just got hospitalized after coming back from Bangkok. Oh no, he was hospitalized in Bangkok.
Yeah.
It was a very severe food poisoning. So I think it's not poisoning. It's about the bacteria get upset. Yeah. You're too clean.
You upset the bacteria.
Yeah, too clean. Yeah, so that's one of the reasons why.
Yeah.
Imagine this. You're at the cafe, sipping your coffee, browsing the internet over public Wi-Fi, and it feels like just another day until you realize that all your online activity is tracked and your personal info might be stolen without you even knowing. That's why I really want to recommend ExpressVPN, the sponsor of today's video. They are the world's largest premium VPN service provider, founded in 2009. VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. With ExpressVPN servers in over 100 locations and strict privacy policy, you can connect through any of them, keeping all your internet activities safe and secure. With all the traveling I do, a VPN a must-go for staying safe online. Whether I'm checking my bank app, signing contracts remotely, or booking a hotel, this VPN keeps me secure no matter where I am. With just one click, ExpressVPN secure all your online activity with best-in-class encryption and advanced protection features. It helps you to block ads and harmful sites, keeping your important personal details like emails, banking info, medical and personal data out of the wrong hands. So why risk it? Protect yourself and your family with just one account. Follow the link in the description to start using ExpressVPN right now.
In 1993, my parents sent me for school here. 1994, my father bankrupt. Business failed, so she couldn't send me money anymore. So I didn't want to go back, because when he called me and said, "Hey, go back. I cannot afford to send you money." I said, "Oh no, I'm not going back." Because I knew that if I go back, what to do? I mean, I couldn't get a job, of course, just being very 17 years old, what to do?
Yeah.
And also I felt already comfortable in Singapore, and I said, okay, let's just work, you know, even though I never worked for the rest of my life before. But at that point of time, I was very angry because my friends, especially from Indonesia, in Singapore, they are very rich. They have the money, right? So I felt jealous. I felt like, why this happened to me? But come to think of it again, if that didn't happen, today I wouldn't be what I am today. You know, I wouldn't work for like 4 jobs. You know, I wouldn't come up to work. You know, I wouldn't know how hard it is to earn money. Yeah, I wouldn't treasure the things that I had. So I think it was like a blessing in disguise. I work as a dishwasher. I work as a waiter. I work as a badminton coach. I work as a tutor.
Yeah.
Everything I did just to earn money to support myself, and I had to send money back.
Yeah.
Yeah, sending money back.
And you mentioned that your friends were like from rich families in Indonesia.
Yeah.
Is because of your dad was at some point was successful in business, and then you kind of was in the circle?
My family was so. I mean, not that very rich, but there were so many Indonesians of my friends. They were so rich, you know, so they don't have to worry about money, you know. And normally the trend last time is after study in Singapore for secondary school, they then continue to go Australia, go UK, go USA. But I couldn't, so I had to stay on here. I only managed to continue to Polytechnic, which was like 3 years, you know. So then after that, couldn't even go to the university. So all my friends, they did the degree, go overseas, you know. So I couldn't.
Because there is this like stereotype, like rich Indonesian in Singapore, you know, that buy a lot of property, land and stuff, like own the apartment and the Orchard Road.
Those days. But now it's China.
Now, I think now like China and Indonesia still.
Still?
No?
Oh, okay, I didn't know. To some, but the youngsters, they still, to the youngsters now, the youngster generations, they still think that China is now it's like when you say you're from China, wow, you know. But last time you're from Indonesia, wow, your father must be rich, you know. But now I think only the oldies, they still think that the Indonesians still rich. But to be honest, not all Indonesians are rich. So, you know, when you talk about rich, you know, of course, it's a very wide range. So.
Yeah. No, but because the community is huge. I mean, so many Indonesians live in Singapore.
I had the information from the embassy. Indonesian population in Singapore is about 400,000, including the domestic helper.
Oh,
domestic helper.
400,000.
Yeah, including the domestic helper. Yeah. So I think in terms of the so-called the working Indonesians here, I'm not sure. So I think about 50,000. But I reckon it's to be more than that, including the families here. Yeah.
So here basically you feel like in Indonesia sometimes, I guess, no? Because there's so many, no? You bump into people.
In fact, I think I met more Indonesians last time during my school time as compared to now. Yeah. And the difference is last time when I met Indonesians, it's like, hey, you from Indo? Oh yeah. Hi, you know where you from? But I noticed now, even though we Indonesians meet Indonesians even though you were in Australia or you were in overseas or in Singapore, are you from Indonesia? Oh yeah. Or you hear someone speaking in Bahasa, it's like, okay, they wouldn't even bother to like ask, hey, where you from? Yeah. So I think it's the different generations. Yeah. Last time we used to be like so close, especially in my restaurants, you know, like last time if I see Indonesian, hey, you're from Indonesia. But now, okay, like nothing.
Why do you think it's like that now?
I think generation change. Yeah, I think the youngsters nowadays, they don't really care, like, oh, so what, we are from the same country, so what, you know. They don't really want to talk. Very different than my generation last time. My time. I don't know about you, like you're Russian, you go to Bali, you meet another Russian, I don't know. But to what I know, I used to work for a Japanese company, Japanese confirm, even though they meet another Japanese. So I asked, so why when you meet your fellow Japanese in Singapore, you don't talk? Like, so why would I talk? Because in Japan, there's so many Japanese. So why must I go and say hello to another Japanese when you're overseas? And for the fact that to be able to get out of Japan and then you live overseas, that is something that not many people can do. So I said, okay. But for me, no, I'm still, whenever I meet other Indonesians, even though in other countries, I was like, hey, are you from Indonesia? Which part are you from? Yeah, so I still do that.
If you wanna start working remotely, one of the options is to start your own YouTube channel. And I prepared for you a PDF guide how to make your first $1,000 from your YouTube channel. Okay, if you want this guide, it's for free. There's the link in the description. Go get it. And now back to the video.
Hierarchy. Is it a big thing, hierarchy in Indonesian society?
It's a very big gap, yeah. Very big gap between the well-to-do and not so well-to-do. But this gap is unavoidable and it's normal over there. So that's why I think it's good that we shouldn't like we're so lavish, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, to me the gap of this is normal. It's something that you cannot avoid. But so far it doesn't cause anything, you know, except for jealousy, I think. But I think people getting more realize that okay, people who are successful, of course, because they earn for that. Sometimes you don't judge the book just by the cover. You always think that, oh, so the rich people so nice, they're living, they're so rich, they're so successful. Yeah, but you know how hard they work, right? You know?
People not realize.
Yeah.
People see only
just the
Ferrari
front.
in front.
Yeah, they do not know about the sacrifice, the stress that we have, you know. This is sometimes I always tell my local staff as well in Indonesia. I'll give you an example, yeah. You know my jacket, my working jacket, and my uniform, I have this 4-star, like a general. Mm-hmm. The reason being is not because to show people that I'm the general, you know. It's to show to my team and to show to the staff that to be able to earn this 4-star, especially in my field, you have to start from zero, right? So in order to get 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, there is sacrifice. So there was one time I give my jacket to let my staff wear, my manager wear. You try to wear this jacket, so he wear. Within 10 minutes, he give it back to me. I said, why? The moment I wear your jacket with the 4-star, suddenly my head's so heavy. Heavy with all these responsibilities, the commitments, and all the hard work that I have to answer to people, you know, all this. So I said, okay, so now you know how it feels. The same thing also. So now if you look at the successful people, for me, you shouldn't feel jealous, you shouldn't feel envy. In fact, you should be thinking, use that as a motivation. Do you think you can be like, you want to be like that, of course, but will you go that extra mile for the hard work to be what he is? Yeah.
Did you have this idea of promoting Indonesian food and culture to the world before when you started? Because like let's say Thai food is a brand, it's a big brand, like people know. Indonesian food, here in the region people know, of course, Singapore, Malaysia, but maybe it's hard to promote this to the big world because it's not, the brand is not like Thai food, let's say.
Yeah.
Did you have this in mind when you just started out?
When I first started, it was merely just wanted to have Indonesian food that is not expensive in Singapore. As simple as that. So back then I was like, hey, in my country there's so many fried chicken, man, at the roadside, and it's so cheap. And we have this pecel lele, you know, pecel lele is like the fried catfish, you know, the lele by the roadside, and the tahu tempe, you know. So I was like, the only Indonesian restaurants that during my time back then was Sanur and Tambu Mas, and that is expensive, and it's not really 100% authentic Indonesian taste.
So food course didn't have Indonesian food back then?
Only Malay food, like nasi lemak, nasi padang, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. So back then there was no ayam penyet. I think there was one in Changi Village, but it wasn't that popular back then.
Yeah.
So my dream is just to have Indonesian food that is affordable. It's something that people can eat almost every day. So started from that. I didn't have any expectation or any dream to actually bring this globally back then. So that's why I always believe that sometimes to start something, to start a 1,000 miles, just start from one step. Don't think too much theories, too much calculations. Will I make profit? Will I lose money? Will I make it? What happens if the cost is too high, the rent too high? No. I just wanted to serve Indonesian food in Singapore. That's why I chose Lucky Plaza in Orchard, because it was near to the Mount Elizabeth, where there's so many Indonesians go there for the hospital. Back then it was just as simple as that.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah. So the very first outlet was in the Lucky Plaza, 4th floor. Even flies didn't pass by there. It was at the 4th floor because cheap. The rental was cheaper. And Sunday there's so many Filipinos, right? Yeah. So I said, oh, okay. So I still remember that time every Sunday we still close. So Sunday I sell Filipino food because I was thinking, I don't think any Indonesians will come to Lucky Plaza because there's so many Filipinos on Sunday. Yeah, but okay, I was wrong. Yeah, so that was how it started. Until as time goes by, apparently that this food. So that's why I said fried chicken, rice, and sambal, it won't go wrong. Yeah, and also it's affordable. It's not something that only the wealthy can. In fact, I don't like. I just like to sell something that all kind of people they can just enjoy. Yeah. So now, the ayam penyet, the smashed fried chicken, in 6 countries. Yeah, but it's also by God's grace.
What are the most difficult country and then the easiest country to expand to for you?
Easiest, Indonesia.
Because you know everything.
You lose one staff, the next day you have 100 staff lining up. In Singapore, nah.
Yeah, because people want to work. Yeah.
In Singapore, you cannot scold. You cannot scold the staff. In fact, the staff scold you. It's the other way around. Yeah. So the hardest, the most challenging is in Singapore, in Australia, because I think everybody knows manpower is an issue, and the pay is getting more and more expensive, and they only want to work 6 hours, 8 hours work, and also they don't want to do all the dirty work. They don't want to wash the plates. They don't want long hours. They demand high pay, and you just raise your voice a little bit, you won't see them anymore tomorrow.
Here?
And also, I think if some of your audience listen to this, if they do F&B, they will 100% agree with me. When we do for interview in Singapore, the people who call up and to text you, hey, I'm coming for interview. Okay, among 100 people who call for interview, you know how many turn up?
If the interview already like settled, already like agreed that they're coming for the interview, yeah?
Yeah. Let's say
they're supposed to be like, I don't know, 90. Supposed to be 90 out of 100.
Okay, so if 100 people call you, those who came, it's less than 5.
What? Come on.
Yeah. Please write in the comments if what I say is true. You can get 5, it's already good enough. And also, when you do the interview, right? Let's say you are the HR, you are the manager, you interview for the recruitments, right? End up, they are the ones who interview you. They'll be asking you how much. Before they ask you about the work, they will ask you how much they can get, how much is the pay, what time is the working hours, and is there any benefit, is there any... So this is so contradicting to what those people always have in mind. Last time when I used to work, when I went for interview, in my mindset, I always tell the boss, I said, look, this is what I can do for you. After I tell you what I can do for you, then I will tell you what I want. So it's fair, I said. So the same thing, I always tell my staff, do not always think what the company can offer you, but you start by what can you give to the company first. And then after that, then you see whether what the company offer to you, is it fair? Yeah. Not just after you just come to the interview, straight away you ask, how much is the pay? Do I have an MC leave? Do I have maternity leave? This and that. Do I have a staff meal? All these things. In Singapore.
Why do you think this problem exists in Singapore with the staff?
They have choices. So I think the supply demand. So I think there are more demands now than supplies. So I think they have these choices. They have, okay, if these companies don't give what I want, I can just go to another company, because there are so many companies looking for people. So they have choices. Very different than countries like Indonesia, Malaysia. I heard even Malaysia now is also getting more difficult to find. Because now so many Malaysians, they prefer to work in Singapore because of the dollar, So I think, but if you go to Myanmar, you go to Vietnam, the people from the village, they still value the work. So they it's so different than the developed countries. So welcome to Singapore.
But also because there are quotas for foreign workers and locals, Singaporeans. Yeah.
And for information, the quota, I think this month. I think the government also increased the quota also for expats and expats. I think expats and work permit, they are making it more tighter again, and the salary ceiling also they raise up again, so making it even more competitive. So I would say my personal point of view in terms of the F&B in Singapore, I think this year is very tough. It's very tough. Not tough means not about the profit, not about the business, but about the manpower. Manpower.
That's definitely caused the problem of like the service that people sometimes like say that Singapore, the super developed country, the place, the city, but the service of like in the restaurant, in the cafes is not there compared to other like developed economies. Because of the staff. Staff come and go.
They have choices.
So
anyone willing to pay me higher, I will just go. So they will just do hopping and hopping.
How to find the right people and how to deal with them so they also you happy and they're happy and business is growing.
There's no such thing as called no right wife, right? There's no right spouse, there's no right parents, there's no right team, there's no right manager. I think it's about expectancy. So one thing I learned, especially this year, I learned not to expect a sky. I learned not to expect too much, because end up I'll be the one who will be depressed. Depressed is when, of course, disappointment comes when somebody delivered less than your expectation, right? So I try not to expect too much. So I try to give them like a credit. I just try to give them the job scope that is really, really, okay, you tell me what is your strength, What's your weakness? So I will try not to give you the job scope that is out of your strength. I learned one thing, that one of the factor why there's a high turnover is because these people, they are doing the job that is not meant for them. It's because they're in need of job, and just at that point of time, this job is available, they just take it. There's no right people. Like at this moment, if many people ask me, do you have the right team? No. But you have to adjust your expectation. There's one time like it.
Yeah.
Why can't you just think like me? Why can't you follow me for 10 years, ma? You know how fast I work. You know how I do. You should know. Just 50% of me is good enough. Then my late father told me, if you expect everybody to think like you, to talk like you, to think like you, they don't work for you. Oh yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Like you, Max. You expect your assistant one day to do the podcast for you. You follow me for 10,000 series already. You should know. If you expect him to be like you, then he become Max. Yeah, same thing.
And the motivation, I also learned this at some point. And the motivation is also different. Like for you as a business owner, your motivation is always, most of the time, will be higher than your team, because you're pushing this business. You created this business. You created this project.
Yeah.
So it's natural. I mean that people have less motivation than you. It doesn't mean that they cannot work like on the good level. It's just they're not you. Sometimes I also like, why you didn't think about this one? But I mean, my experience is broader than my assistant's experience.
Exactly.
So why I would assume that they know the same or they think the same way as I'm thinking.
Agree. Yeah, you have the point there.
What was the happiest moment in your life overall? Maybe business, maybe personal.
Life.
Yeah, life.
Personal. Oh,
happiest.
when my first baby born.
Same for me. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, when they the first time you hold, oh, this is my blood. You know, I used to be naughty, like, you know, always this and that. So I said, oh wow.
Yeah.
And it's a girl. I said, oh man. Okay, so that was the happiest moment. And the happier one was when she looked at you and she smiled. You come back from work, bro. You feel so tired, right? You look at your baby, the face, and smiling. Oh, it's gone. Yeah. So that's why the God's greatest blessing. Yeah. This I don't understand why people don't want to have babies.
Yeah.
Maybe they keep thinking, you know, I have to change the diapers. You know, of course we have our sleepless night, right? But it's all worth it, right? Yeah. Same thing. Yeah. So that was my happiest moment.
Yeah. What age were you when your first baby was born?
I married quite late because I didn't have money. So I married when I was 35. So my first baby born when I was 39.
Yeah.
40.
40.
Yeah. Wow. It was quite late.
Yeah. And then you feel young again. No, it's actually for me, it was like my first kid was born. Now she's 7, so she was 7 years ago.
So you were 32.
I'm almost 40, so I was 32, 33, 32, and then the last one was born a year ago. And it's kind of
It's a big gap, right?
It's a big gap, a 6-year gap.
Yeah.
And now you feel this again, but you already know how it works. You know the diapers thing, but also here in Singapore you have help. So easier, the weather, the help. But you kind of feel this thing again, and it's pretty cool. The baby thing, the small baby, you know.
But for your case, it's really you go back to back to zero again, to the stage again. You have to like 2 o'clock, poop, 3 o'clock, poop. Yeah. But it's good. Was it planned?
Yeah. It was planned.
Oh, it was planned. So you wanted?
Yeah, we wanted. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We were just not sure after the first one was born. We were thinking maybe 3-4 years. No, like my wife, she was like building her career, and then okay, let's start working on it. And then it took like a couple of years.
But the best should be within 2 years, so that when you are tired, just do it. Just settle off the tiredness within that years, and then stop. Like now, mine is 9 and 7. I want to have the third one, but my wife doesn't want. Yeah. So anyway, 2 girls. I said, hey, one more, but she don't want. So okay, so okay.
Yeah. We have business. It's already like sucking all the blood for you.
But that's very happy.
Yeah. What was the most difficult moment in your business?
The most difficult moment in terms of my work, I ever experienced when I was left with only 2 staff, and before I opened the door for business, it was already queue, and all the staff they boycott. They couldn't stand long hours because back then it was like a long queue non-stop, you know. So I was left with 2 staff. So, but I had to open the business, right? So, okay, I had to open. So my hands shivering, just open the gate, just open the door, and people coming in. So I had to do kitchen, I had to take order, I had to be a cashier, so I had to do everything. So there was one of the scariest moments. But because of that, now, if I'm facing with all this shortage of stuff, I have no fear. Because sometimes many of the staff feel, without me, you cannot. No. Without you, my life goes on. It's okay. Yeah, so there was one of the scariest moments. Another one was when I took a knife. I ever took a knife, put on my wrist, and I almost want to end my life. Because of I divorced 2 times, not marriage, but divorce in business. So I trusted people too much. So in my past 2 business partnership, I divorced the same industry. And then I was thinking, what will the world think? People will surely think that I was the problem until I have to divorce 2 times. Whereby they didn't know what was the real story. Rumors spread this and that. So I said, man, I have failed 2 times, man. What will the world think? What will the people think? I was in the room for almost a week. I didn't want to come out. And the devil started talking to me. Just end your life. You are useless. You are nothing. You will not be able to rise up again. Look at what the people will laugh at you, you know, this and that. So that kind of hearing, you know, I feel like just ending my life. I felt I'm useless, you know. Yeah. So I took the knife. But somehow there was this little voice tell me, you're still young. Just do it one more time. And then I remember there was one time I watched Denzel Washington say, it is not about how many times you fail, but it's about how many times you get up. Every time after you fail. Fall down 6, get up 8. That motivation kept ringing in my right ear. The left still telling me, just commit suicide, you know, just end your life. You are useless. Yeah, so that was the darkest moment. So that was when I met my wife. Yeah, so she after work, she would just send the food to me, you know. We just know each other. So she just motivated me. It's okay. Just do a new one again, you know. So that was when many of my regular customers was looking for me. So I said, hey, where's Eddie? And then they found out that I was no more there. So actually, you know what? I think it is a very rare case whereby customers have to gather some money just for me to start a new one. So that was when I started 2009 with the food court. So that was my turning point. Very, very dark. Of course. Yeah. The knife. Almost. So yeah, that was very dark.
Did you have a moment when you said to yourself, oh, I made it in life?
One of my friends asked me, what is the meaning of success to you? I used to think when I have my first million, when I first have my first 10 million. But eventually I realized there will never be ending. Even though you have 1 million, 5 million, 10 million, 100 million, so what? Above you, above a sky, there's another sky. There's this Indonesian proverb, you know. Above the sky, there's another sky. So that's why I said, the amount of the money doesn't determine whether you are successful or not. But to me, it's like for me, from someone during my school days, I had no food to eat. I lose my hair. I had to eat Indomie, instant noodle for almost like 1.5 months. I felt the hunger before when I didn't have the money. There was a time when I only have 50 cents in school that I had to go to the canteen, give it to the uncle. I said, I only have 50 cents. Since you are closing off, you're closing down, can you just give me the food of whatever left over, you just give me. And whenever I pass by restaurants, I just look at the pictures, you know, I was said, oh, when will I be able to enjoy this? My father used to be well-to-do, but now I have to like this. The success when I made it for me is when I eat in a restaurant, I don't have to see the price and I can order, that's it. It's not about the car that I drive, the house I stay, no. To me, success to me, if you ask me, is when I eat, I don't have to see the price, that's it. Nothing more than that. That's a personal perspective. But of course, in the business perspective, I will tell myself that I made it is when I become like the next KFC. When my brands in all the countries being witnessed by my kids and my grandchildren. This one is my father's brand. And my grandchildren, this is my grandfather's brand. So to leave a legacy, that is when I said I made it.
How it matches, like what you said, that above the sky it's another sky, and then the balance thing, but then at the same time you want to be like big brands, you want to be like that your children and grandchildren know your brand, so you want to grow big, you want to grow your business. How it matches each other, you know what I mean? So when enough is enough, and for entrepreneur should be the point when you say enough or no? One
of my business principle or personal principles, I have this proverb to say this: the more you go after the wealth will fly like a bird. Wow. Right? When you do something because of the money, people can sense. You try to sell me something and your intention is just to make money from it. Your aura will tell me. Of course, you have this feeling, right? When the salesman comes to you, hey, hi, how are you? Hey, by the way, I have this good product. You know, this watch, this thing can make You know he's just trying to hardcore sales, right? It's definitely it's about money. It's so different than people really trying, when people really don't even offer you a product, but you just need the product when he just doesn't directly sell to you. So same thing. When I do everything that I do, I always make sure that what I do is to solve people's problem. Like for me, people who crave for Indonesian food globally. After you do, because of that, profit will just come. So do it with passion, do it with really your wholeheartedly, do it really like you do for God. And then all these things will just come. You make sure when you serve this iced coffee, to serve it just for the sake of serving or making a coffee, and also another barista who sell this coffee and he really make it from the way it brew, from the beans is roasting, you know, really particular, this and that, and even the water, the type of the water, you know, everything, people can find the difference. So when you do this because of really true passions, you really want people to enjoy it, the profit will just come. So when you ask me about there's a sky, about the sky, when I want to do like this new brand to go global, it's nothing to do with money. Leaving a legacy. Whereby the children and the grandchildren, they can still enjoy it, and to tell that, hey, this is done, so that I want them to know that there was once lived, that your father last time lived a very hard life, you know, to work so hard for this. I never talk about money. I never talk about the profit. I'm talking about the legacy. Above the sky is when you know, like okay, like for example, like let's say now I'm 47, right? So when I reach let's say I reach my 55 or 60. When I feel that my stamina is no longer the same, you know, then I feel that okay, that's why now I'm learning how to do things autopilot. I'm learning new business skills whereby this isn't about me. This brand is not about me. This brand is about the food. This brand is about the story. It's not about the founder. Last time, hey, where's Eddie? Your boss not here. Okay, next time. It's bad, right? On one hand, you feel like, okay, you come because your friend want to support you. Come on, if you want to support me, support the business. Don't support me just because I'm there. So if I'm not there, you don't support? Yeah. So for me, it's like, So I'm trying to change the business way in such a way that this one without me will still work. Like something like autopilot, you know. So I'll just be behind the scene, you know, doing the management, all these things. And I used to distrust people. I used to distrust my team. I tend to take everything into my hand. Social media I do, kitchen I do, bookkeeping I do, everything I do, inventory I do. I don't trust people because I always like to work fast. Problem, solution. When I see some managers, some stuff, okay, pa, yes sir, okay. Have you done it? Oh, okay, a little work, sir. Okay, sir, yes sir, okay. Where? So I tend to take everything myself. You know what happened? Breakdown. I was depressed, I was under stress, I just break down. Just blank, so tired, you know, just go back home, no life. You know F&B, right? Everything do myself. After go back home, you still have you just have to do ordering, you know. So now I'm learning to empower people. I try not to interfere too much on some departments, you know. So hoping that will be autopilot, and I have to trust my team more. Yeah. And so that one day, this brand, this business, is not about me. It's about the product, it's about the brand and the story.
What's the most valuable skill for entrepreneur now? Like based on your experience, what's the biggest skills that you, let's say, you had already or you developed that really help you building your business?
Adaptation, resilience. So I always tell my friends who do business as well, I say we have to become like the yin and yang. You know, the Shaolin, you know, that black and white, you know. So why the shape is like this? It isn't straight. It can just be straight, right? One black, one white. Yeah. But it's like this. That represents like a water. Water can just fill up in whatever shape of the pond. So in every situations, in every economic situations, in every year, things change. People change, economic change. If you don't adapt to it, if you're not being resilient, so I think you will just lose out. You cannot just keep enforcing something that you believe. My grandfather always say, I say. No. So we have to listen to people, being resilient, and not to just try not to be like too iron, you know. It's always about I, me, what I think. No. So it's about adapt to the problem and the situation. And number two, I always think about the cup, right? Like this one. This is not half. To some people, this is like half full. But to me, this is half empty. When people say this half full, they will tend not to learn new things. Because they feel that, hey, I know everything. I'm in this business for 30 years, ma. Hey, you know, I always hear this from uncle, right, in Singapore. Hey, I know already lah. I know already. This one, right? I know. Hey, I 20 years know this industry. Yeah. So these are the chances that these people, let's see the next 10 years, they will tend to lose out because they always believe in that thing. They don't want to change. Yeah. So always fill up yourself with something new. Yeah. No, I never used. No lah. Last time my business never used social media. You know something. Even though now we know social media is even nothing. Now we got AI. We got all this. No choice. But you just have to. You just have to keep learning something new. So these are the two things that for me I always firm believer about all this. If we just want to stick to what we believe, then you just lose out to people, especially you are facing with the young generations. You know, there's this generation Y, Z, what millennial, Gen C, Gen don't know what. Now it's don't know what generations. Even the Gen C and Gen Y millennial compared to now the young generation is different. Then what about us? We are in what generation? It's so much different already. You know, there was one time I went to my friend's birthday party. So I went to this club. So I said, so that reminds me of my clubbing days, you know, right? So I went inside, I saw the people, oh my gosh, all so young, right? And I noticed that the things they talk about, the way they drink, it's like they can just drink this one bottle can finish like 3 hours. Oh, our days last time, open your mouth, boom, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, right? Yeah, I don't see that anymore now, you know? Now it's just so different. So that is just about the nightlife, yeah? It's the same thing also for business. There are so many things change, you know? So that's why when you're talking about this business is left behind by the father or by the grandfather, if the grandson if the children still follow what the principle of the father or the grandfather, boom.
Yeah.
If they are not being resilient, yeah. So these are the skill that you have to follow in order. It will not guarantee a success, but at least you will not. You stand a chance to survive longer lah.
When was the last time you cried?
Recently. Actually, I'm very emotional because I think many men will think that when people cry, it is a sign of weakness. But to me, no. When you cry, it's a sign that you have hold on too long. That's why it just break down. And I'm a very expressive man, so sometimes I just get too emotional. I just cry because cry doesn't mean that you cry sad. You cry because of that you are poor thing. Cry not because that you are weak. So I cried because the very most recent one is because I trusted someone too much. This thing in me that I always trust people easily, you know, especially after so many years, you know. So I trust. That's why I have to learn not to expect too much. I have to lower down my expectations. I cried is because I blame myself. Why do I let myself being taken thing for granted again and again after the last time it happened again? So I blame myself. Why I allow this to happen? When people take granted from you, okay, I don't know, Max, I don't know whether you hear this story. You know when people try to borrow money from you, no matter what happens, just don't lend them. It's not because that you don't want to give, or it's not because that you are stingy or thrifty, but because sometimes when you are helping and you are helping again, you are actually creating a problem for yourself. You are showing to people that, hey, this is your job to help me. So it's because we allow ourselves to be taken things for granted. So we make it. That's why when people borrow money, right, end up we are the one who become like the debt collector. Hey, where's my money? You know. So end up we become like the debt collector. So I feel that, hey, I think it's a less expectancy. Don't trust people easily, and we tend to blame people of the blunder that we made. But actually, we are the one who made ourselves to be taken things for granted. Anyway, always learn. Keep learning and learning. So there was a time that I really cried.
Yeah. You said you were like emotional. You think Indonesians are emotional in general, emotional people, or it depends on the personality?
I would say Singapore is more open-minded. Yeah. In Indonesia, it's more conservative.
More conservative.
More traditional. Like we still, especially Indonesia is from different kind of race, ethnic, right?
Yeah.
From Javanese, Sundanese, from Sumatra, from Kalimantan. So this also will shape about their personality as well. Yeah, some also they still have belief about the old belief. You can't do this after you give birth. You don't do this. You know, in Singapore, you know, like just very easy. Like I don't know, but in Russia, you know, in Asia after give birth, our wife cannot take shower for 1 month. I don't think this. So I was wondering.
Case, yeah.
Yeah. So
it's like the bad luck or something. Kind
no,
of,
because the body is wind. Because you open up, right? So the body is too much wind. So that's why you have to eat a lot of ginger, you know, all these confinement things. You know, you have to take the herbs and that.
Yeah.
So I think Indonesia is still very conservative. You know, when talking about this, I did wonder. Think more about people in Europe. You know, in Japan, in Korea, they still shower, right? They still wash their hair. You know.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, yeah. So it's all about the culture. It's not just about being Indonesians.
Yeah.
So Singapore is more open-minded.
Yeah.
In Indonesia, you can see what, like for example, in Indonesia, like for some ladies, they just wear some tank top, you know. But in some parts of Indonesia, they, you know, or even just you have a beer or what, you know, they still judge you.
Not supposed to.
In Singapore, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
But you go to Bali, it's very open. You try to go to like some village also, especially shaped by religion, like very Muslim, that's very conservative.
Different, yeah.
You cannot even ride motorcycle. If you're not husband and wife, you cannot riding in a motorcycle together. Okay. I mean, just take it as an example.
Yeah. What's the meaning of life for you?
When we become useful, it's whatever you do, you make an impact. To be a blessings to people by action, not by theory, because in some, especially some religious, they always say be a blessings, blah blah blah, but it's all theories and bullshit. So the meaning of life is when we maximize our talents, God-given talents. Whatever God gives you, you maximize it, and then after you die, you go back to the soil, you meet with your Creator, and the Creator will ask you, what have you done with the talents I implant in you? What have you done with the 2 hands I give to you? Some people will say, oh, sorry God, I so shy, I just bury. Oh God, I only multiply to 2. But some, I multiply the talent you give me, I make it into. So the real life is when you maximize God's talent. Be an impact, be a blessing. And the true success is when you are able to make people successful. Then you're successful. Don't live like a balloon. You know, when you live like a balloon, keep blowing yourself, it's about me, and one day you explode. Yeah, so that's life.